Meet Rasool. He went from frustrated to funded. He's a real estate investor and also owns a cleaning company that he's owned for 10 years. Even when having great credit in a business of 10 years, he was still receiving denials when he went for business funding. That is until we plugged him inside of our proven system. And in under 90 days, Rasool went from $0 in business funding all the way up to $200K in 0% interest business funding. And he went on to get approved for even more with more time at over $260K in business funding. Not only is money no longer an issue for him, but now he's been actively using this funding for his real estate investments. If you see here, he was able to purchase his first fix and flip investment property with his new $260K in funding. If you're a business owner and you're tired of low approvals, you're tired of getting denied, you want to make sure you watch this video all the way into the end, because not only am I going to outline Rasool's journey from start to end, but I'm also going to show you the mindset that we had when we created his funding strategy and how you can implement it into your funding strategy as well. Now back to Rasool. Again, he runs a successful company and he lives in South New Jersey. But after being in business for 10 years, he was still going about funding his business in the old school way, straight out of pocket and using personal funds. And despite having a 775 plus personal credit score, he still ran into issues with applying for funding like Key Bank. He had already received a denial from them. And having that loan credit history, who wants to get in that credit score? Who wants to receive a denial from anyone at that point, right? But he was really confused. He didn't know which way to turn or how to actually apply for funding because he's never done it before. Again, he had $0 up to this point. He didn't know who to turn to, which bank to apply for. And even if he did apply, he didn't know what to put on these applications from these banks. He hasn't applied for business credit before. And after seeing one of my ads, he decided to finally just reach out and ask for some help. And he told me this straight up.
Because I've done a lot on my own, so I'm old school. I was using my own cash, and I'm like, I got to stop doing that. Plus, not only that, I ain't rich, so I'm running out of money. So realizing I can't do it that way.
Like many of our clients, Rasool had the work ethic and he had everything else. He just needed the blueprint. So we started auditing his personal and business profiles. And at that point, we set him up with our top business relationship manager. So that way everything will be streamlined and he wouldn't even have to leave his house to get these approvals. And he didn't. So speaking of, within 48 hours, with less than 48 hours, really around 36 hours of Rasool literally not knowing that I existed, hopping on a call with me, him moving forward with our process, he had 90K in approvals. And within the next week, he passed 130K in approvals. Keep in mind, this is more than double than what he'd even asked for originally. And how we're able to do this is that we actually customize all of our clients' funding strategies specifically to them. We don't use just templates or give everyone the exact same funding strategy. Some of you guys don't know how important this is, but it is vital when it comes to creating a funding strategy, going for funding. You have to know which banks to go to first and when to go to them. And that's not even including what to put on the applications and everything else you need to know about each and every bank that you go to. So that way you not only can get approved, but optimize on those approvals. And that's exactly what we did with Rasool. So the same for you. If you have good personal credit, you're tired of getting a runaround, you don't know which banks to go to, you need a roadmap too as well. So that way, when you apply, you're not at the mercy of the algorithm and you feel like you're just getting lucky. No, Rasool didn't get lucky. He had a game plan. But you know what? Don't take it from me. Let's listen to it in Rasool's words.
I like to say, I don't know what it's going to end up being, but I know that the way it started and the way it's even continuing to go, like 150, 200,000 is kind of like bare minimum in a sense, if you ask me. Like if everything is set up properly, this is just the beginning. We can just keep repeating the process, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You know what you're doing. You're business minded. You're thorough in what you say and do. You back up what you're going to say and do. You keep me on my toes. To be honest with you, just do it. There is never, you might think it's a perfect time. Now is the perfect time. Not because whatever reason you didn't do it in the past, that was your reasoning. But if you have it and you got the mindset knowing, okay, now is the time I need to do it, just do it because you're going to be so glad that you did. And at the end of the day, you know, like I said, you'll look up and you'll be surprised because I kind of felt like I could do it, we could do it, but then to actually see it, then like I said, then have the resources behind you. Now that you're my resources behind me, it's like the only thing I would say is I don't want to say I regret, but it's like why didn't I do this prior to now? But other than
Yeah.
that, I have no regrets, and I would just tell people to just do it. I don't put no prices out there, but I'll just say this: that was like a drop in the bucket compared to like you got to look at it like that. Anybody tell you it don't take money to make money, lying to you. Be careful. But then I'm gonna take it a step further. Like I did a little bit of research where I was able to see this person, this company, that company, what they were offering. And a lot of them will say they're going to do something, especially now. And I'm sure you see it on social media. Everybody
Yeah.
is saying what they're saying, but you went through. Like I said, it was I would have paid more. Like honestly, when I in the beginning I didn't know, but knowing what I know now, it's worth more. Like I'm saying that it's worth more. It's definitely worth.
Now, as promised, I'm going to go through a live breakdown of exactly what we did and the thought process behind Rasool's funding strategy. So you want to buckle in. This is going to be even a deeper dive than I normally do because normally if I'm showing a funding strategy, I'm not going through the client specific profile and everything with you, but we're going to do that here today. So the banks that Rasool went to, he went to Chase Bank, he went to PNC Bank, he went to Citizens Bank eventually too as well. He got a Divvy card, which is now called Bill. And he also went for GM Marcus and then American Express. But let's begin just there with American Express. So this is one of the approvals that he was able to get within 48 hours. And what was the mindset there? Because it wasn't just random. We didn't just pick a bank just because American Express is popular. We didn't just pick American Express just because of that. There was strategy behind it. And what is that strategy? Well, Rasool had a personal credit card with American Express. And when you have a personal credit card with American Express, it does boost your chances of getting a higher approval with them on the business side. And I got some other tips that I haven't even released here on YouTube yet about that whole process. But either way, that's the reason that we went with American Express on the business side. And he was able to get approved not only for 25K, because that was his first approval, but 50K. So two 25K approvals. So right out the door, boom, 50K with just American Express. And keep in mind that this was both at 0% interest rate. So for uh, 12 months, 0% interest for 50K. And in this example, we actually didn't use an RM and we have one, but we just went online because in his case, he already had the relationship and everything. We were trying to get him in the door and I knew that he would get a great approval either way. But we weren't even finished with American Express because we went through and got a American Express business line of credit for 15K too as well. So that was amazing. So that's 65K just with American Express. Now, the mindset behind that was that the same as the personal credit card and going for the business credit card. He already had a relationship, as I've stated. He makes good revenue in his business. He's been around for a while. So why not mix in some business lines of credit? Because him as the client, he wanted to go for some lines of credit too as well to help on the real estate side of things. Now, there are some business lines of credit that are no docs, but this one with American Express, normally they do ask for 3 months of bank statements just to let you know. Now, one of the next approvals that we went for was the GM Marcus business credit card. And with them, he was able to get 40K. Okay, he got a 40K GM Marcus business credit card approval at 0% interest for 12 months. And this is how we were able to get Rasool 90K in business funding in less than 48 hours. Literally, he joined me Monday evening, I would say. It was on a Monday on that evening, like 5, 6 o'clock p.m. By Wednesday morning, he had that 90K in approvals, literally. So it was amazing. Also, these results are not typical, but as you see, it is very possible depending on the business owner, their profile, and their business in general, how it's structured, so on and so forth. Next, we went to Chase Bank. So within Chase, we actually were able to get approved for a 22.5 approval with Chase for the first business credit card that he got. And we did go through a Chase relationship manager too as well. But that was the first approval. For the second approval, we got a 75K approval with Chase, also using a business relationship manager. And that was a total of 97,500 at 0% interest just at Chase Bank alone. So the mindset behind Chase, even though he didn't have a previous relationship with Chase, we felt that it would be a great fit for him based on his business and his profile. And Chase normally is a good option for newer relationships within a bank, or you have a newer relationship, within Chase, because they are more lenient than other banks are at being able to get high limit approvals, even if you're just starting out with them, especially if you're just starting out in business. But as you know, at this point, Rasool was not new to business, or his LLC also was not new. So at this point, we had 90K, and then we got these approvals. And at this point, actually, Rasool wanted to hold off. He was like, okay, let me just use this and I can come back later. And we're like, okay, cool, which is crazy. Before I started doing this, I never thought that people would actually stop us from going for more banks. But hey, that's how we do things over here. We fund our clients, and a lot of times they're not. It's almost like they're not actually expecting to get the approvals that we talk about. So once they get them, they're like, okay, I'm good. Let me use this first, or what have you. I'm good to go. And that was Rasul's case. But he did come back. In his example, he did come back and he was ready to go. So it was time to go for even more funding. So just a quicker win, seeing that he has revenue in his business. For a quick no PG business credit card, we did go for the Bill credit card, which he got a 12K approval there. Now, last two banks, we went for Citizens Bank and then PNC Bank. We had a relationship manager with PNC Bank, and we did apply, we had Rasool build a relationship with PNC Bank and then apply with them using a business relationship manager. He was approved for 19K with PNC Bank, and that was at 0% interest for 12 months. And he actually still has a relationship with them and will continue to apply for products with them too as well, including a business line of credit. And lastly, for Citizens Bank. So with Citizens Bank, he was able to get approved for a 35K approval at 0% interest for 12 months. And the mindset there, with him being in New Jersey, Citizens is a great bank for that area because they're in that area. And with PNC, the mindset is, hey, he wanted to build a relationship with another bank, and he wanted to get a merchant account for his business. So he did get a merchant account to build an even further relationship with PNC Bank. I would say 10 times out of 10, if you're not me, you're not going to think about all of these different strategies. Again, it sounds a lot easier now that it's done and we're talking about it. But would you have thought about to go to PNC and create that relationship like that and then apply with a business relationship manager? Would you have thought about Citizens Bank and had a relationship manager like we had to get that 35K approval and all the other banks? And in a sequence to where it also maximized on the increase that we got, which, speaking of, we did remove his increase too as well. So that's why this whole process is so effective and it works so well. Now for Rasool, that was 260K. And again, we could have went for more. We have more banks, but he was good there. But either way, if you're looking to get access to up to 250K plus in 0% funding, or business funding in general, because we're going to mix in some business lines of credit, maybe even business loans. Well, all you got to do is go ahead and click the link in the description, set up a time with me or my team, and we will go over where you are right now and talk about the exact steps that you need to do, or the exact steps that you need to take in order to get funded. Even if you're remotely interested, go ahead and click the link below, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Success stories are coming. The success story is already here. Tech.
Yeah.
But and people understand. They don't understand it once you get the business funding. What are you doing with it? So that's why I say success stories are coming. This is just the beginning. You did what you said you were going to do. We could just say, okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate it. But that's not even it. This is a process. It's a journey. It's a marathon. We want to, just keep going. So.
Yes, sir.